How's it, guys, and welcome to another episode of Cool Calm Minds. And today we're trying to tackle, when they say when life gives you challenges, you ask yourself, am I one, doing the right thing, or two, am I on the right path? Anyway, my name is Tatenda, and I'm going to be chilling with you for the next 20, 30, 40, whatever minutes. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know, one, how to deal with your mental health issues, or two, how to deal with the situation that you find yourself in, and three, also how to navigate when you're going through challenges. Because one of my pastors once said that we've got three things in this life. One, it's either you are in trouble. Two, you are headed for trouble. Or three, you are just coming out of trouble. So either way, we always have those three, and that's how we navigate life. And it's so important to understand that when things are going well, it's not always going to be like that. And when things are going bad also, it's not going to always be like that. And when you're coming out of things, it's going to be easy for you to appreciate the spot that you are in, or the phase in life that you are in, based on the fact of where you've been. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Like I said, this is a safe space for you guys to express how you feel, when you're feeling, and that sort of things. And a massive shout out to MJ. He said, "Coach, can you please make sure that I'm in the next video?" And I'm like, yeah, MJ, there he is. Mateo Judah 01 on his back of his shirt. And everyone knows that I'm a cricket coach. So yeah, anyway, let's jump into the video. I've got a few options for you that are going to help you. So what works out for me may not work out for you, may not work out for the other one. And that's the thing with mental health, that even if you then say you're going to a therapist, the therapist is going to give you 3 or 4 options on how to deal with what you're going through. So if it's self-doubt, one can say, okay, I prefer writing. So if you're writing, I don't prefer writing, I prefer speaking. And someone else is going to say, I prefer just blabbing about nonsense and laughing and whatever. That's my coping mechanism. So each one to their own, but at the end of the day, it's to make sure that we've got a stable environment that understands what these mental health issues are. Point number 1, accepting and acknowledging. It's one thing to know that, yes, you may be going through a toxic environment in your work, in your marriage, in your school, in everything. It's another thing of acknowledging that it is thee. Because a lot of times what we then do is we try to run away or shy away from that which is draining us, from that which is exhausting us, even in friendships actually. So when you now accept that, you know what, my boss is a bit of a douchebag, or my school teacher doesn't understand what I'm going through, where I'm coming from, or my friends don't understand this because each time I hang around with them and they ask me to go to that club or to that space and whatnot, it drains me. So the first thing about that is to acknowledge that, okay, the set of my friends, or the set of friends that I've got, they want me to go left. And each time I go with them left, then I start to feel like I'm being drained. So one, you accepting that, okay, this is the kind of people that they are. This is the kind of work environment they is. This is the team that I'm going to work in. This is the team that I'm going to play in. Once that is done, now you then accept, okay, so if this is who they are, am I willing to or sort of change my character to fit them, or I'm going to move away from them completely? And when you move away from friendships and stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean that you hate those people. It just means that you and them, you really don't really get along. So accepting and acknowledging is really important, that, this is how it's going to be, and now it's easy for you to take a stance. Am I resigning from that job because it's a toxic environment, or I'm going to try and make adjustments so that my boss can also understand that I am trying to meet him halfway, or I'm trying to bring those targets right on time, or I'm trying to do the best that I can to make sure that this environment is also good for me. So once that is in place, it's easy for you to make a decision. Do you stay or do you go? And be honest with yourself when these things are happening. And there's a few questions that one can ask themselves whenever they're in such. What am I feeling right now? That what am I feeling right now, it's really so important, because you are talking to yourself. And when you're talking to yourself, it's so important for you to be honest with yourself. If you say, I am feeling insecure, it's okay, because a lot of times when we say, I'm feeling insecure, you just kind of go like, nah, I'm not insecure. When someone else points it out that, are you insecure about me going out? Or are you insecure about me spending time with that set of friends? Be honest with yourself when it comes to that. What am I feeling? And right now when I'm asking you, what are you feeling? And the moment you know what you are feeling, it is easy now to address it. Right? What triggered that particular feeling? So it's the what am I feeling, and now what triggered that? Is it the person that walked into the room? Is it the comment that they said earlier? Or is it how they greet you every morning? Or is it how they sort of talk to you every time? Or is it how they criticize you, even if it's constructive? What triggered that feeling? What do I need in this particular moment? The moment that all the triggering and the feeling, the emotions is happening, what do I need to get support right now? A lot of times when you are angry or when you're going through an emotional burst, people want to be alone. Some people want to be alone. Some people want to be around people. Some people want to brush it out. I'll talk to you when I need you. Or some people can say, just leave me alone. And in that leaving alone, maybe give them a guarantee. If it's your partner, give them a guarantee to say, okay, love, can we please speak about this at 12 o'clock? In the meantime, I just want time to process it. Now, the person that is trying to be there for you also feels like they are not being left out. And you also you don't want to come across as you are rude when people are trying to help. And help is okay, but then when you're not ready to receive that help and you want to go through your emotions, it is still okay. So allow them the space to support you, but in the same breath, also allow them the space to understand where you're coming from. Does it make sense? Acknowledgement doesn't necessarily mean that you are dwelling in that negative feeling. It also means that in as much as you are in a deep, dark hole, you are doing the best that you can to try and get yourself back up or back into the light. So when you are acknowledging, it doesn't necessarily mean that, I'm happy being depressed, or I'm happy being sad, or I'm happy being angry, or I'm happy not talking to you. It's rather, I am doing my steps on my own pace, in my own understanding, to try and get out from the fact that, my friends are not the best, or my partner doesn't understand this, or my kids are doing this and it makes me mad and all that. I've acknowledged it, yes, but I'm not dwelling in it. And just because I said I'm angry at you, it doesn't necessarily mean that just because I'm quiet, I don't want to talk to you. It also doesn't necessarily mean that just because I said, I'm good, then we can just carry on like nothing happened. Allow me the space, allow yourself the space to try and wake yourself back up by acknowledging you are pulling yourself back up in your own way, and understand and believe that you are actually doing that, and that's going to be good for you. Number 2, shifting your perspective. A lot of times when you're going through these things and we've acknowledged, it is easy for you to always look at everything else like it's a negative, or everything else is a problem derived from the first problem. So then when you have acknowledged, and now that perspective needs to change, because we always say this, that have you ever noticed that every time you are late, everything is late? Literally, you come into your car and maybe something falls onto your dress or your shirt or anything. It messes and puts a stain. You need to rush back to try and change it. When you get out of the complex or the house, the traffic light is not working, or there's a taxi driver that is always cutting you and all that. There's road rage happening. It's because the moment there's one negative, it sort of like starts to spiral into out of control. By the time you get to work, that coffee machine is not working and you're thinking, gosh, can this day get any worse? No. Perspective is everything. The moment you've got a stain on your shirt, just look at it as, maybe white was not the best for me today, so let me put on the blue one. So I've got 5 minutes. Because if you come to think of it, when you are late, jumping from the car back to change another shirt, it will probably be like another 5 minutes. But because your perspective is so negative, you kind of feel like you're actually getting even more late. When the traffic light is not working or it's a red, it takes about 90 seconds, I think. I stand to be corrected. It takes 90 seconds for the traffic light to come back to green. So you're really not as late, but because your mindset has shifted from everything is so bad in this day. So when a taxi driver, and we all know taxi drivers are always cutting us in the traffic, when they do that, you're thinking, they're going to delay you. But in actual fact, probably it's another 3 seconds. Even for them as well, they think that they're actually cutting time, but they're really not. You're just causing havoc and the potential of an accident. So the more you get angry, the more you don't change that perspective, then you're going to end up, now you are in actually more trouble, because now you're trying to jump that traffic light. And when you jump the traffic light, you get bumped, and now that's an accident. And now done. That day is really, really gone bad. So before you think of it, it's not as bad. If you sit down and you acknowledge it and you accept it, and you now start to ask your questions, what, the way, the how, it's going to be easier, and you're going to realize that I can actually do without coffee. Can you? Instead of asking yourself, why me? Because as human beings, that's the first thing that we have to jump to. Why? Why me? I lost my son, and everyone will be like, why? Why did I have to lose my son? Why did I have to lose my house? Why did I have to lose my wife? Why did I have to lose my business? Why did I have to lose this? Why did I have to fail in school? The moment you start asking yourself the why, you're only going to be met by problems, not opportunities. Because that question is derived from a negative perspective, not from a positive. So when you say, why did my son die? In other words, you're trying to say you're more special than someone else would have died. Or another person's child should have died instead of mine. Instead of, from a biblical point of view, it's, God, what are you trying to teach me from this situation? Remember the what that we spoke about earlier. Now you're going, what are you trying to teach me in this situation, God? What is this situation teaching me? Yes, my coffee spilled on my shirt or my dress. But what is it that, maybe I was holding too many things in my hands. I'm trying to open the car door. I've got my laptop bag. I've got my lunch bag. I've got my cup of coffee. I still have stuff that I need for my presentation. I've got too many things in my hands. Maybe that's why I could not even get hold of that coffee before it spilled. The what is very important in what you do. And I always say this to the boys that I coach cricket as well, that before you play the drive or before you play the pull shot or the defense, it's not about which shot you're supposed to play. It's the thought process behind before you actually thought of doing it. That's the one that we need to train as a mindset. That's the one that we need to get through to. Okay, I went through 1, 2, and 3. Where is the what in this? And we always speak about the why, and this time we're speaking about what are you teaching me in this scenario? What are you teaching me in these circumstances? What are you teaching me in all this ordeal that I'm going through? The what is very important. When we look at difficulties as an opportunity for growth, we then see that all the negative that has been sort of blindfolding us, like it's an opportunity for growth. So you never get depressed when you are going back to work, because it's either that place of work is either teaching you resilience or patience. If you're in a team of superstars, maybe that's teaching you to your work ethic or your practice ethic has to be a lot different to what you see. So if you're doing 1 hour a week, you're thinking, there is no way that I'm going to match their challenge or match their level if I do once a week. Let me move it to 5 days a week or 5 hours in a week. That's 5 single hours every day. I'm going to make sure that I practice for an hour. So that's an opportunity for resilience now. When instead of me running away from a challenge, let me push on and see who's going to crack first. We say that in Test cricket, that whoever cracks first is the one that's going to give us the wicket. If it's the bowler that cracks first, they're going to be hit for a boundary. If the batsman cracks first, they're going to get us a wicket. So that's how it is. So whatever opportunity, whatever challenge that you may be going through, it's either it's going to teach you patience or resilience. But either way, it's going to be a positive for your growth, and you're going to grow. Number 3, the power of mindfulness, meditation. Over the last few weeks, I do PE at a school. And when I had the little ones, the little class that I had, I started doing 30 minutes, it started off as a 15-minute interval of mindfulness. And the reason why I did that was we live in a world that is super busy. And when the world is super busy, everything is just in a rush. You don't have time to listen to yourself. So what I then did to the boys was, everyone lie down, the boys and girls, everyone, you lie down on a yoga mat, close your eyes, we put on some soft music. Close your eyes, breathe. In 15 minutes, in fact, in the first 3-4 minutes, they're all fidgety. No, man, coach, you want to go to PE, you want to go play something in the grounds and whatnot. It's like, close your eyes, just listen to the soothing music. White rain, there's so much you can do, birds chirping, there's so much music that you can do. Even here on YouTube, you'll find it for hours and hours on end. And 2 days later, that's when they realize that, no, man, this is amazing. Because at the end of the 15-minute mark, everyone wakes up and goes, whew, that was amazing. It is so important. It's so important to reboot. And when you get into that mindfulness space, it's okay. Give yourself 5 minutes in a day that is packed with meetings, a day that is packed with busyness and all that. It is good for you to just sit down and say, you know what? Tell your PA, for the guys that are in corporate and you've got meetings left, right, and center, during your lunch break, just keep quiet. Put your headphones on, close your eyes, and just breathe. Mindfulness is important. Just breathe. Listen to everything that has been happening, even when you're just done with the workout. That's another one, because your heart rate is pumping fast, your adrenaline is pumped, you are lifting weights or you're doing cardio and whatnot. It is so important to just calm down, reset. And ever since I started that with the PE classes, you can see that they're different. Because remember, when you wake up in the morning, you're in a rush, because either you woke up too early and you still feel tired, or you woke up too late and you just abruptly jumped out of bed, jumped into the shower quickly, let's go. Then there's traffic, then there's this, everything is just haphazard. You finish your breakfast, quick, let's go. Breathe. Mindfulness. We then moved it from 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and they're still loving it. And they realize that, you know what, we've been complaining that no, this is wasting our time. But in actual fact, because PE is an hour long, and you've got 15 minutes that you just breathed, you still have 45 minutes to do whatever that you want to do. Or if you work out for 45 minutes, the last 15 minutes is for mindfulness and breathe. If you've got a wife or you've got a partner, tell them, love, this is my time. I want to breathe. It's important. And you're going to love it for me. And you're going to come back and say, oh, yes, that was good. I enjoyed that, because it's part of my routine now. In as much as I work on myself with the workout, but I'm also working on myself with quieting the brain down, or quieting everything down, making everything still. Deep breath. Take a deep breath. Even if you don't have the 5 minutes or the 10 minutes or the 15 minutes, but before you answer, I said this to Tapelo the other time, that before you rush to answer, breathe. Someone comes to you, Tapelo, how are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? It takes less than 2 seconds. It feels like you've delayed that person and been waiting and been listening to you, but no. It's kind of like when you are recording like this, when you are speaking. The moment you say, that is your brain telling you, slow down. And when you don't even say, you think that you've taken longer in between sentences, but you actually didn't. The person can still understand you, because you don't want the person that is listening to you to go, what was I talking about? No. Breathe. Point number 4. Now you need to ask yourself, in this particular moment, I now need to take accountability of everything else that we've spoken about. Now I need to take action. What action can I take? Can I breathe? Can I talk to them and tell them what I'm going through? Can I seek advice from someone else, a third person? Or can I seek professional help? It's very important to understand that sometimes we don't get to help ourselves. Going to a therapist doesn't necessarily mean that you suck or you can't deal with stuff on your own. Or speaking to your friend, for that matter, doesn't necessarily mean that you are too weak and you cannot solve your own problems. So when it comes to that, when you're taking responsibility, when you are taking accountability, when you're taking action, now ask yourself those relevant questions. What can I do? If there's a solution to what you can do, you take it. If it's talking to someone, find someone. Everyone has got someone that they can talk to. If you don't, my number is always on this description down below. You always know if you go 072-332-4717, my number is always on for you. Send me a text message. There's this thing, NGL now, it's an anonymous text. Send then, and then we can speak. But there's always someone that is willing to listen. And that's part of the reason why I started a podcast, so that I can also listen to people. And in me listening to people, it's more I'm going to grow as well. So there's always someone that can help you. There's always someone that may not have the exact solution to what you're going through, but maybe their life's experience or their challenges once took them into that sort of space or sphere, and they can now able to advise that, oh no, I've seen a friend of mine that has gone through this and this is how they dealt with it, or I went through this and this is how I dealt with it. It becomes easier for you to, oh, it's not that bad. Because when you are there and you're busy in your mind and you think, yes, I want to kill somebody, there's always that breathing spot. And after breathing, you can take action. What do I do with this? Because it's pointless to keep on crying over something and you do nothing about it. It's pointless to keep on saying, I'm depressed, but you're doing nothing about it. Then you're just wanting to get attention. If it was really a bad thing, as you say it is, then you find a way to make sure that you are a better person around your family, around your partner, around anyone that is in your circle. In closing, life is always going to bring you challenges. I think that's one thing of life that is a certainty, that no matter what, you can never live your life thinking that, I'm good, I'm exempted from all the problems. But when it then does come and it happens, be in a position that you also acknowledge that, yes, it's okay for me to feel sad and not getting out of bed or not wanting to see people or face the world. But it's also okay again to say, for today, this is what I'm going through. But for tomorrow, I'm going to change my perspective. So in as much as all the challenges we may face, we need to understand that one challenge, and I said it earlier when the video started, that you've got three instances. It's either you are in trouble, you are headed for trouble, or you're just coming out of trouble. So either way, there's always an active part that is happening in your life. And that is what makes life easy, or great, not easy rather. That's what makes life amazing. Because when I'm coming out of trouble, someone else is in trouble and I'm going to be there for them. And when I'm in trouble, someone just got out of trouble and I'm giving them the hope that, you know what, you're not going to be in that position forever. And when someone is walking into trouble again, they're going to have the rest of mind that, or the hope that someone else has been there or someone else has just gotten out of there. So that means I can also get out of my situation. But be that as it may, challenges are always going to be there. And it is up to me and you to sort of navigate our way through everything and still come out at the top and say, oh, I'm dusting myself here, but it's been a great journey. Life is good, guys. Stay calm, stay clear. And remember, if you're new and you still stayed with me up until at this point, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I hope you stay and you become part of the family by joining on the join button. That helps us to make sure that we've got everything that we need, the equipment, the traveling, and all that to help us in the channel to grow. And subscribing is very free, extremely free. Just click on the subscribe and put on the notification. Every time I post, you will be the first people to know what the video is about. And when you join, you'll be the first one to get the video before everyone else. So that's a pack. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys on the other side. Stay strong, stay clear. I love you. God loves you. And yeah, we'll be good, man. We'll be good. Stay strong. Cheers for now.